All right, guys, if you're new to Old Head Hoops, these videos are me and my old friend, my basketball lifer friend, Coach Pixley, talking about just random basketball topics. Today's topic you guys are going to enjoy. This is our list of our best one-on-one matchups between NBA players, past and present. These are dream matchups. These are matchups that we would pay money on pay-per-view to watch unfold. And then we also give you, for kicks and for giggles, our worst matchups and why. Historically, these are the guys that we would run for the hills. If there was some announcement that these two dudes were playing one-on-one to the death, we would not want to be watching this because it would be terrible basketball for one reason or another. That's what today's video is about. Bear with us at the beginning as we work through some non-basketball related content, but stay tuned till the end. I think you're going to enjoy it. And then we want you to comment at the end who are your best and worst all-time one-on-one NBA matchups. Thanks for watching.
See why Card Ladder is the industry leader in sports card data. We know what you want because Card Ladder was created by collectors for collectors. Card Ladder. Join the innovators, not the imitators.
Emergency podcast. Yeah. We are having an emergency podcast about 45 minutes ago, believe it or not, on a simple, quiet, calm Tuesday morning. I got a very hurried, rushed, concerning phone call from my friend here, Coach Pixley, and he said, we've got to do a video on the best and worst one-on-one matchups for NBA players. And I said, you're damn right we do. And he said, be ready in an hour. And here we are. We are literally here 45 minutes later, and we are going to give you guys our three best and our three worst NBA basketball matchups. Start thinking about that in your head before we announce ours, because I want to know. I want to get comments. There's got to be a lot of comments about how good or bad these can get.
Yeah, there's so many options you could go with.
So many options, right?
It really depends on what direction you want to go. Do you want white standstill shooters to play against each other who can't dribble? Do you want just defenders who couldn't throw it in the ocean from 2 feet? And the game would last forever, right?
For bad, yeah. I should have asked you that. When you say worst, you don't mean Michael Jordan against Mark Price. You mean like worst, like
the worst
bad player versus bad player. Yeah, okay, good. I just want to make sure we're on the same page. Yeah, the opposite of best is what you meant by worst, not most lopsided. You mean just like, this is the last thing on earth I would want to put eyeballs on.
Yeah, right. And it makes you believe, like, if I played in that game right there, I would beat either one of those guys.
I'm okay. I'm gonna do all right.
Yeah.
I'll be able to create some space in this game right here. Yeah, I like it, dude. I like it. Okay, that's the direction I went. So for once, we're actually on the same page.
There we go.
Look, before we get started, I've got a pack of 91 Upper Deck basketball cards. You don't collect basketball cards, but you know the damn well. You know the NBA in 1991. I am going to start showing you some players and let you try to guess. You might get this. This is a tough first one. Let me see how.
Bring it at me out the gate. That's what I want.
Bringing it right out of the gate. Right there. Get you some of that Washington Bullets for you young people. The Wizards used to be called the Bullets.
I can't really see it, honestly. I'm gonna guess it's Liddell Eccles.
It's not Eccles. Local product. It's not. This guy's a little thicker than I remember him being.
I really can't see it, though, is the problem.
Darryl Walker. If you can't see it, we can't play this game. We can't play this game. The game has been shelved. All right, let's start going. As you guys saw from the thumbnail, that did
not look like Darryl Walker, by the way.
I know. He looked thicker, a little thicker. Darryl Walker, a little skinny dude, right? All right, as you saw from the thumbnail, 2 men enter, 1 man leaves. If you have not watched Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, then what are we even doing here? Like, what is our purpose?
Yeah, turn this off if you haven't watched that. Turn this off.
Literally, Schindler's List, Shawshank Redemption, Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, Tina Turner, Mad Max, Mel Gibson. I mean, dude, I could go down the list. Actually, I can't go down anymore because those are the only 2 people that were in it that are famous. But what a movie. Must see. I've seen it 45 times. I was watching it back in the era where, HBO would show the same movie over and over, right? Now you can watch any movie you want, anytime, anywhere. Yeah. I tried to explain to my kids. I was like, you do realize, like, I watched Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark, like 70 times because HBO had like 4 movies a month. It was ridiculous in the early 80s.
Yeah, I believe because of beta, right? Beta tapes, right?
Beta tapes.
I think I probably watched the first Indiana Jones probably 200 times. I probably did.
Yeah. Well, I've just now, my 10-year-old, I'm just now exposing him to Indiana Jones. So in the last 72 hours, we watched Indiana Jones and Indiana Jones, the Temple of Doom, which is creepy, right? It's a little extra for my 10-year-old. Probably in hindsight, probably should have done it.
Yeah. Pulling his heart out of his chest. Yeah, that was tough.
Yeah, a little creepy, And then Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, which is underrated, man. All of them are amazing. I think Last Crusade was really, really good. Did you see the new one, Dial of Destiny?
No, I stopped watching it after the Last Crusade. Was the Last Crusade the one that ended with the aliens at the very end?
No, that's Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Okay, that's the one. I was done watching it after that. The first one is far and away the best one to me. The great scene of him just pulling the gun out with the guy with the swords, right?
Epic, right?
Right. And really and truly, there's nobody that could basically make Han Solo and Indiana Jones the coolest characters in each movie, regardless of who else was around him. Yeah, he was.
What are the odds that someone could be literally when you start going through iconic like heroes and in history, cinematic history, right? I mean, those Han Solo and Indiana Jones have got to be, two of the top 10, 12, 15, whatever, maybe top 5, whatever. I don't know what your deal is, Superman and all that crap. But
yeah, but don't count that. Don't count
same
that.
Actor, Jonathan, same actor, for God's sakes. Like, he's a legend, dude. I heard he was a really good football player. I heard he was a receiver.
Oh, I didn't know that. Look, to me, take the superhero stuff out of it, right? And just look at actual, like, human being people that would be.
Okay.
So, like, yeah, those two guys are in. Think about what he did in Star Wars. Luke Skywalker, who played by one of the worst guys ever that would be a lead actor in a huge, huge movie, right?
One-hit wonder, yeah.
Yeah, Han Solo saved him, basically, because if he'd have had to carry the movie, it would have been a problem. It'd have been a problem.
I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with Mark Hamill. I thought he did a good job. But you clearly have a man crush on Harrison Ford. So we better start talking about basketball. We're going to lose everybody.
That's probably right. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
We might have already lost everybody. We may
I
not
know
have
who would win that one-on-one matchup. I know who would win that.
Oh, between Skywalker and Solo?
Yes. Yeah.
Dude, Skywalker's winning that matchup.
No, he's not.
You can't even hit him. How are you going to hit him? Have you ever watched him with a lightsaber? You shoot lasers at him and you can't hit him. Han Solo's got a little pistol.
Yeah, that's fair. I think Han Solo might get Chewbacca to set a screen for him.
Han Solo, Chewbacca. Well, now you're 3 men enter, 1 man leaves, or 2 men leaves. It's confusing there. So
that's fair.
We're going, Jonathan. We're going Thunderdome now. What we don't mean is we don't mean fighting to the death. We've done that before, by the way. Fighting a bear, fighting people to the death. Right? I think we all agreed. Our test wins everything.
Probably.
We're talking about actual playing basketball. We're playing to 10. I used the Thunderdome thumbnail and the theme, 2 men enter, 1 man leave. I don't literally mean you can murder people or beat them or hit them with weapons. We're playing basketball. We got a referee, so we're playing by rules. Now, one thing we didn't talk about is how lenient, how ticky-tack, how rough it can get. Is there a dribble limit or anything like that? We didn't discuss any of that stuff, but I think I like to leave that open-ended and kind of like just talk through that and say, well, if it was this way, this, and if it was this way, this. So why don't we go this route? Let's say we're playing to 12 by 1s and 2s.
Okay.
Fair? Yeah. I think we got to start with our worst matchups, don't we?
No, I think we save those for the end. I think those would be the best. Yeah.
Start with the best matchups. Okay, so start with your – and we're going to go 1 to 2 minutes on each. Give me your third best one-on-one matchup. By the way, I went historical too.
Okay, I did both.
Okay, good. Okay.
I did present day and historical. So,
well, I've got one that's a no-brainer, and we haven't consulted again, so I wonder if we'll have any overlap. This will be funny.
Let me ask you this, though. Do you have 3 present day and 3 historical, or is it just a mix?
I have 3 best and 3 worst. Some are present versus present. Some are past versus past. And one of them, which is a must-see, is past versus present. Of course, we're going to have that. We're going to share that one in common. We might not have a unique one. Give me your third best matchup.
Okay, I'm going to give you my third best current day matchup because you didn't do these. Okay.
Okay.
Like just
throw it out there. Let's go.
Let me give you the list. So I went. Now, granted, I'm taking these guys in their prime, right?
This is the matchup that you want to see. This is not, we think it'll be even. This is like what we would love to watch on like pay-per-view. We'd pay money to watch this. Go ahead.
Yep. I want to see this matchup with these two guys in their prime, Kevin Durant versus Giannis. I want to watch that matchup. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm taking those two guys. My second one, and again, because we'll get to the historical one. Okay. My
Well, why don't you tell me who's winning?
I would say Durant is winning that.
Yeah.
And again, depends on how physical Giannis is allowed to get, but
depends on dribble limit.
Yeah, all that. Let's just say no dribble limit. Let's say no dribble limit, and just reasonable foul calls. I'll give Durant that. My second one would be Kawhi and LeBron. I want to see those two guys absolutely just bulls, right?
Yeah.
And then my first one, which I think would be a blast to watch from a skill standpoint, is Kyrie and Steph. I want to watch those two guys.
Awesome.
Go ahead. Yeah.
That would be awesome.
So now, the rest of mine are all historical. Okay, so let's go with your third list, and your third on your list, and then I'll start with my historical one. How about
Who
that?
you going with? Kyrie and Curry?
I will go with Kyrie on that one. It's gonna be tough, but I would go with Kyrie. I would also go with Kawhi over LeBron. By the way, that's tough. I know, but it's tough. I just think Kawhi is gonna make mid-range jumpers.
He's going to make a shitload of them. You know what? Because he's not going to bully LeBron. That would be fun to watch. And we're talking about the Kawhi Leonard that used to play NBA basketball, who is now making a cameo.
We're also talking about the LeBron of the Miami Heat too. So this is a problem.
Yeah. Well, look, even with that LeBron, there was talk about Kawhi being the best player in the world at one point, and it wasn't like you're a lunatic type stuff. Like if you said something like that now, you're a lunatic. You're obviously. Right. It's illogical, but there was a time where even folks like you and me were like, there's a conversation because he's so elite defensive. Like this guy's like one of the greatest, defenders we've ever seen in our life. Yes. And at that time, he was also just an automatic bucket in the playoffs, just ushering people wherever he wanted. And he was an automatic bucket, shooting the hell out of the ball at that time. So, all right, we'll start with my third best.
Yep.
That I would want to watch. And this is the only one. This is one of two where I have past versus present.
Yeah.
I want to see Ja Morant versus Derrick Rose.
I
want to see Ja Morant versus Derrick Rose. I want to see if either of them can. Sorry, this may be disrespectful, but I want to see if either of them can tear the ACL of the other because these two guys, horizontal athleticism out of the world, vertical athleticism. Ja Morant might be the most vertical athlete we've ever seen. Derrick Rose was pretty damn special vertically and horizontally. Yeah. You're talking about two guys that I don't think either one of them would settle for the three based on their, historical precedent. And I think it would be absolutely astonishing and fun to watch because Derrick Rose is a quiet, soft killer. He won't get rattled. And I have a feeling Ja Morant would be talking mad shit the entire time. And I don't think Derrick Rose would give a damn, being from where he's from, doing what he's done and seeing what he's seen. So it would be awesome.
Is there anybody else besides Westbrook that you put in the most athletic point guard conversation of all time?
I think it's those three guys, dude. I'm thinking there are some really athletic guys. I mean, Baron Davis was crazy. Steve Francis was crazy, but not like these three guys. Not like those three. Yeah. Certainly, I can't think of anybody from the 70s or 80s even close to those guys, Jonathan. Kevin Johnson was a phenomenal athlete, but nothing
like that.
Not like this. Kevin Johnson might dunk the ball 8 or 10 times a season. Right. I got to believe Westbrook's had seasons where he's dunked it 100 times, more than that probably. Right. So in Rose, same thing. Morant is trying to do things nobody's ever seen. So I would go with Derrick Rose just because he's probably got 35 pounds on him.
They're the only three guys I've ever seen, and really Morant and Westbrook a lot of, where made basket on one end, ball inbounded, they go dunk.
You better turn around. You better turn around. Yeah, that's right.
Crazy.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Give me your third.
Okay, so I'm going historical here. By the way, I'm going to give you two honorable mentions real quick.
Oh my God.
Bird versus Dirk. Just got to see it. Bird
versus Dirk. Okay, that's racist. Next.
And then Vince Carter and T-Mac. I'd like to see that.
Dude, that's a great one. That would be a great one.
That'd be fun. Okay, so my third one, and this would be an awful game to watch from an aesthetic standpoint, but I just got to know. Shaq and Wilt, I got to know. You just got to let me know.
Dude, you know what? I want to redo my list. I'm glad you did that one. Oh my gosh, I would
just
love
want
to
to see
see
the
that.
physicality.
Okay, so let's be clear. Everybody who's, well, even most people our age are going to say that would be a freaking bloodbath because Shaq would just do whatever he wants.
Right.
Hold on, my friend.
Yeah.
Hold on a second, right?
Yeah.
You better be careful with that. You got to remember, Wilt was taller than Shaq.
Yeah, like 2 inches taller. Yeah.
In significantly longer reach.
Yeah.
He, I will say, could certainly jump higher than Shaq.
For sure.
Right. And so this
better athlete, period. Better athlete, period.
Yeah, better athlete. And Shaq can't really shoot the basketball. I don't know, Shaq at his prime was what, 330, 340?
Well, it depends on what you call it.
It depends on who you listen to. Let's just give him 330. Okay.
Okay, fine. Yep.
Okay. Wilt was, later in his life, when he was filming Conan the Destroyer, I think he was probably pushing 300.
Yep.
But when he played,
like 280, 290, somewhere around
270, maybe even. Yeah, but he was really tall. So there's a lot of weight there on 7'3". The question is, would Shaq, if it's no dribble limit, that's a problem with Shaq.
That's a
dribble,
problem.
You're not going to reach around him and get it. He's just going to back your ass down until he decides to turn around and try to dunk it, and you're going to block it or you're not.
Good point.
I don't know. That's an interesting one. That would be a really fun one to watch for sure. My number 2 is Magic and Bird.
I millions of reasons. Put them on here, man. It's historic. Yeah,
millions of reasons. I just think if they made an announcement, Prime Bird is playing against Prime Magic Johnson. There's only one matchup. Well, there's actually 2 matchups in history that I think would outdraw that from a pay-per-view standpoint, right? There's 2 matchups, right? But this would be, I think, number 3 on everybody's list because it means so much to everybody, and everybody took sides. There's nobody who's just in the middle, right? Everybody took sides as a kid or as an adult or as the East Coast versus West Coast or whatever. So Bird versus Magic would be mine, and I would go Bird just because he's so much better shooter, and Magic's, as good as Magic was at everything else, and he scored the ball a lot better than I think people historically realized, and could have scored it much more if that was his calling and that was the need. But his best trait is that he was, and Bird was a great passer too, but Magic's trait was he was the best passer in the game at the time, and that doesn't mean anything in one-on-one.
Correct.
But being able to shoot when you have a fraction of an inch of space does. And Magic released from his nipple, and Bird released from 11 feet in the air because his arc and his release point was 4 feet behind his head. So I'm giving Bird the huge advantage there, but I just like to see it.
And what's funny, when you watched the documentary on the scrimmage, right, with the Dream Team and the college team, and you heard Mashburn, and I think even Weber said it, but you just didn't realize how big Bird was. Yeah.
Listed 6'9", but some people are saying 6'10", and we're talking 6'10", 250.
Right.
Doncic like build kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like he's built, and Doncic like 245, 250, allegedly maybe 270, but whatever, 250. Well, if Doncic is 6'7", 250, and Bird looks like him, he's 6'10", 250 easy.
Yep.
Didn't have quite the same gigantic ass as Doncic though, and hips and quads and stuff. So I don't know, maybe not. You would take Bird in that matchup.
I'm taking Bird. Yeah.
By the way, what'd you think about the documentary? For those of you who haven't seen it, we're talking about the documentary. I think it's called "We Beat the Dream Team." Came out on HBO Max, Jonathan, but I think you can watch it on Prime because that's where I watched it. It was pretty awesome about when they put the '92 Dream Team together, and then Mashburn and Rodney Rogers and Grant Hill and Hurley and Eric Montrose and those folks went and kind of snuck up on them in that first game, and then it was even more fun to hear about the second game, right? Because that's kind of what we expected. But they may have been single-handedly responsible for the Dream Team doing what they did in the manner that they did it. Like they weren't even – there was no chance they were going to get surprised after what that college team did to them that first day over in I think it was in California.
Yeah, and look, that college team was loaded. Okay?
Yeah.
And so and look, I thought the best part was – how, Krzyzewski had come out and said it was a game thrown, this, that, the other. And everybody, including coaches, were like, yeah, that's not true. That's not how that went down,
That being said, listen, Krzyzewski really stuck to his guns with the best player he ever coached standing in his face, arguing with him. He stuck to his guns that it was fixed. I will say this. It was almost like Chuck Daly buried his head in the sand. Like he didn't
Yeah.
tell the players not to win the game, but at the
Right.
same time, the rumor is that Jordan didn't play the vast majority of the game. And if
That's
you were,
true.
if somebody said you've got to win this game, do everything you can.
Yeah.
Jordan never leaves a court ever,
Right.
right?
Right.
So I don't
Yeah.
know.
He used it. Chuck Daly definitely used it to his
He
advantage.
knew what he was doing. Willful indifference, I think, is
Right.
the word.
But I did like the college guy's response, which was, "Oh, so you're telling me Barkley, Malone, Bird, Magic, Ewing, Robinson, they're not good enough to beat us?" Like
That's fair, I know, but that's not the same thing, and we both know that.
I know.
There's something to be said about that black cat being on the court.
Yep.
All right, give me your number 2.
Okay, this is going to be an interesting one for you because one of the participants is somebody that neither one of us could stand. But I want to see Iverson and Isaiah play against each other.
Yeah.
I think it would be a fun, cutthroat, killer, little guy. I just want to watch the little guys go at it. Super skilled handlers, all that. So I would take Iverson in that matchup too, by the way. More athletic.
Certainly more athletic. Like I think Iverson's one of the few people like in his primes. You can't keep him. Now he has trouble finishing at the rim because he weighs 135 pounds soaking wet.
Yeah.
And he's what? Is he 6 feet tall?
If that.
Maybe, allegedly, right? But nobody kept it in front. Like nobody could keep Iverson in front of him. I mean, you may be able to meet him at the rim and cause problems, and he shot a shitty percentage because he wasn't a great shooter and he couldn't really finish. He had spectacular finishes, yes, but like consistently, he wasn't finishing like Kyrie or somebody like that at the rim at a high percentage. That would be a really good one to watch. Of course, you know who I'd be cheering for.
Of course, both of us.
Yeah, I'd probably set it up. I'd probably doctor the game. I'd probably try to kind of maneuver and make sure that Iverson won that game.
And you would make sure Isaiah didn't leave Thunderdome too, actually.
Hey, man, the rules are rules. 2 men enter, 1 man leaves.
That's right. All right,
Isaiah. Bad news.
Who's your next?
Do we have the same number 1?
Yeah, we have to.
Well, we may not.
Actually,
we may not. Do you have Kobe in it?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't.
You went Jordan LeBron.
I went Jordan LeBron. And I thought maybe you would go Kobe Jordan.
Yeah, I went Kobe Jordan just because of similarities, right?
I went Jordan LeBron just because I'm tired of it. I'm just tired of hearing about it. I'm tired of arguing about it. But again, it's not going away. It'll be here. This argument will be here after I'm long gone. And sure,
you're looking for
vindication.
Closure.
Closure is the right word. Well, you're looking for closure too, because there's young people out there who believe that Kobe was better than Jordan. You realize that?
Okay, I'm changing mine. Mine's Jordan LeBron number 1, Jordan Kobe number 2. Take the little guys out. Yeah, because I'm watching.
Here's the deal. We do a round robin with those 3 guys, right? I can't imagine anybody in their right mind of the age of volition looking at NBA basketball and the landscape and the whatever we have almost 100 years now, right? Well, since the 40s, so almost 100 years, almost a century of basketball. I can't imagine anybody picking anybody other than 2 of those 3 players to be in their top matchup. Let me know in the comments if I'm missing somebody, and don't come at me with some Kuminga bullshit. I don't want to hear about Kuminga or any jokes, right? I want to know, who could you put in that one-on-one game that you would want to see? Because these are, really it's 2 one-on-one players, right?
Correct.
Two players who, their best traits are exemplified in a one-on-one game. LeBron, not so much, but I got to believe he probably ain't too bad at playing one-on-one. He has a humongous size advantage on Jordan and Kobe, like humongous. No dribble limit would be a problem for Jordan and Kobe.
I agree with that. The one question I have for you is, if you had to put together a tournament, okay, and let's say we could do 8 players, all right? LeBron ends up in that thing because of 8, but if you had 4, like the greatest one-on-one players of all time, I'm not sure LeBron's in that 4, right?
Is there no dribble limit?
Yeah, and so like
you got to put a dribble limit. If you don't put a dribble limit, I'm taking Giants everywhere.
Let's make it a 4 dribble limit, okay? So you get 4 dribbles.
Yeah,
because you're right. If that's the case, if it's
Shaq's one, Shaq will never lose.
Right, correct. Okay, so let's make it a 4 dribble limit. You got Jordan, you got Kobe, you got Durant for sure, right?
For sure.
Durant,
of course.
Who would be the 4th guy?
Hold on, what'd you say? Jordan, LeBron, Kobe, Durant.
Jordan, Kobe, Durant.
You don't think LeBron would be in the top 4?
I don't know, man. He's got to make jump shots if that's the case. Not that he's a bad shooter, but I'm just saying, it's tough.
The thing is, you're looking for players that play both sides of the ball, and so you're going to rule out a Doncic. You're going to rule out a James Harden. You're going to rule out these dudes that have averaged 30 32, 33, 34. You rule out Iverson. Iverson can't possibly defend any of those guys. I mean, he's giving up 50, 60, 70 pounds.
Yeah. Is it Kawhi?
Dude, it might be. And it just sucks because he is a complete historical afterthought. It's just, I think
prime Kawhi is a problem.
You said it. Well, you called it with a LeBron Kawhi matchup. That's what you wanted to see, right? You know, now look, LeBron could have defended anybody in the world when he wanted to in his Miami Heat years too, dude. So I think you put LeBron in that game.
You're probably right. You got to put LeBron in the 4. Okay, you're right.
Well, I think you put LeBron in there because, like I said, if LeBron played against Kawhi and you give him 4 dribbles and LeBron weighs 270, 260 when he was with Miami.
Yeah.
6'9", 260. What's Kawhi? 6'7", 240?
Yeah.
That's a lot of weight, dude. That's like me playing against a 165-pound person. It's like me playing against a WNBA player.
But I'm also taking into account how LeBron plays, right? Like I know he
now, yeah, but we got a lot of recency bias on both these dudes. Like it's gonna be.
I guess you're right.
We need to watch YouTube highlights and then do it. But
right.
Yeah, I think that's your 5, man. LeBron and Kobe are clear-cut 1 and 2. We needed more time. 45 minutes was enough because if you'd have posed that question like, okay, best 4 ever, 1-on-1, who you got, 4 dribble limit. I need more time. I want more time to think about this.
Is Durant not number 1 possibly? In a 4 dribble.
I'm never, ever, under any circumstances, ever taking anybody over Michael Jordan in a one-on-one game.
You're right.
Under any circumstances except Shaq.
Okay, how about this? Would he be the biggest
if you have no dribble limit?
Would he be the biggest problem for Jordan?
I think he would be. Because you know what Jordan – the one thing Jordan would do, same thing Kobe would do if they had KD in a one-on-one matchup is balls on hips. They would be all Velcro, baby, all up into him.
Yep.
And Kevin Durant, just turn around, shoot that. I mean, just turn around, shoot it. What are you going to do? How are you going to contest it?
And if you have 4 dribbles against him and his length,
pick a direction, take 1 dribble and rise,
No, I'm talking about him guarding them.
Oh, him guarding them, yeah. No open, no jab step jumper.
That's what I'm saying. Anyhow,
I don't know. That'd be fascinating. Let us know in the comments who y'all have for your best. Most people are watching because they want to know the worst, right? No, yes. I don't know if that's true or not, but this is going to be exciting and fun and hilarious.
How did you go here? Did you pick bigs? Because I didn't do bigs. I didn't do them.
I picked yeah, I did. A couple of big matchups. You asked me the things that I would least want to see, so I picked bigs who would be awful in this and I don't like.
Okay.
So it's the word. It's literally the thing I would least want to see. Although it's like driving by a car wreck, sometimes you glance, you don't want to see what you see, but it's like you can't not look at it,
Okay.
Give me your 3rd worst first.
Okay, so my 3rd worst, and again, I didn't pick bigs, was Kyle Korver and Jason Capono. And no, they're not allowed to spin it out and act like they're running off of a screen. And there is no.
What if they each got a screener?
No dribble limit on this.
What if they each got a screen? If you're going to do white spot up shooters, you got to give them each a down screen.
You got to put down.
A random 6'6", 215-pound guy that looks like them that can screen for them. Same size, shape, everything.
Okay, so 1-on-1 after the
pin. Korver and Capono?
Korver and Capono, that would be a problem.
We're going to have to translate this. Half the people watching this don't know who those guys are. Now, here's the thing. Kyle Korver, when he was at Creighton, was doing more than just catching and shooting.
He was.
Capono was doing some things, too. He was kind of a little bit of Austin Reeves to his game.
Dude, they were really good at what they did in the NBA. Korver.
Yeah, that didn't last long. They did turn into set shooters at some point, as most people of our pigmentation do. We turn into set shooters at some point. One day, Austin Reeves will be a set shooter as well. Have you watched? Oh God, I just went blank. The dude from Australia, Joe Ingles. We watched Joe.
He's done.
I feel so. I was like, Joe, you look like I felt when I was 45 playing pickup at the local gym. I was like, your brain is going. You can do it all here. You can't do shit anywhere else, man. You can't get an inch of space. It looked pathetic last night. He was playing. I can't remember who he plays for. I don't think it was the Bucks. It was somebody. Maybe it was the Timberwolves. It was the Timberwolves.
It's somebody he shouldn't be playing for.
It was the Timberwolves. Like he has no. Now he might be a locker room guy and all that, from what I've heard. So I don't know. All right, that's a good one. That's a good first one. My 3rd worst. I'm going from least worst to worst, right? Okay, so my third worst is, we talked about it last night, and that's what led to this video. I was watching the Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Memphis Grizzlies, and I was like, I've watched a quarter of basketball. Jaren Jackson Jr. and Evan Mobley are guarding each other, and neither one of them can score a basket. Like, they're absolutely, completely helpless. And there's a whole lot of people out there that are going to defend both of these guys and say, well, they averaged this many points. I am sorry, these dudes suck at offense. I am sorry, they suck. And they're both elite defensively. So I think this would be a deal where you'd have to get a timer, because if you're playing to 10, it's just never going to happen.
I don't care if both of them average 20, okay? Against each other, it's going to be awful to watch.
Awful to watch. Yeah. Specifically each other. Yeah. All right, give me your number 2 worst.
We talked about it the other day, PJ Tucker and Tony Allen. I can't imagine how long that game would take. I really can't.
Prime PJ Tucker.
Prime PJ Tucker, who was he different than he was when he was older?
Yeah. He
dribbled.
Dude, when he's in the league. Jonathan, PJ Tucker is in the National Basketball Association.
I understand that.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's horrific. He makes Eric Gordon look like freaking Usain Bolt.
But you're saying prime PJ Tucker as if that guy were a lot different than the guy.
Well, I say that because prime Tony Allen, the dude coming out of Oklahoma State, was the Big 12 Player of the Year.
As a defender, he could
not. As a freaking scorer, he scored the hell out of it. You better go check.
I'm going to need some proof.
Here we go. So it begins. We're pulling up Tony Allen's stats.
You need to prove that to me.
We're going to prove it together. That's what this channel is
about. Scoring
the
hell out of it does not mean double digits.
Dude averaged 8 over his career, and you're telling me he couldn't score it. He averaged 11 one year, first of all.
I mean,
I want to show you what he did in college. I'm sorry. Let me go find it. I don't know how to do this. Where do I even find
I'm going to guess
college?
He didn't average more than 14 a game in college.
Oh, I know he did.
Okay. Well,
this is going to be – I could really be eating crow here, but if I recall, he was a really good scorer in college.
I can't wait to –
This could backfire on me.
The dude averaged 11 once in the league. Once.
Why don't you give that to me? 16.5 at Butler Community College, then 14.4, then 16 a game, baby.
What did
16 a game.
I want to know what he shot.
29% from 3. He shot 50% from the floor. He must have been dunking everything. If he shot 29% from 3, he must not have taken very many.
Well, then you know what? Everything. You know what we have to do now? Go look up PJ Tucker's college stats. That's what I want to know. I want to know.
Oh, I bet they're worse. For sure. Oh, well, I mean, you know they're worse.
The dude averaged 16. Oh, my God. On 29%.
Do you think PJ Tucker averaged more than 11 in the NBA?
I can't imagine at any point.
I don't think so either. Let's see.
I can't imagine.
Never. He's no Tony Allen.
No, well, we know that. He's not.
We know he's no Tony Allen. All right, let me get all the way down here to Texas. He played, I think he only played 1 year and then bounced, didn't he?
Is that right? I
don't know.
Did he play with?
I just want you to know he's getting paid $11.5 million a year, and I'm getting paid like $400 to do this channel.
So disappointing.
I'm telling you, I bring more to the table than Tony Allen.
There's no question.
3 years, Jonathan, at Texas. By the way, look at this.
What did he average 16?
10, 13, and 16.
What did he shoot?
This dude went ahead and shot 67% from 3. He must have been 2 for 3.
53 for the year. Yeah.
Isn't it ironic that he was like, what is that, 2 for 3 in his entire career or something?
Yeah.
And in the pros,
all he does. Yeah.
All he does. I think he's 2 for 4 in his entire career. I think he was 0 for 1.
Yep.
Oh, it is. It's right here. He took 4 threes in college. He took 4 threes in college. He hasn't taken 4 twos in a decade.
How would he?
I want to go look at how many twos PJ Tucker has taken. 2-point field goals attempts a game. Okay, so last season he took 0. That's 3 games. This season he takes 0.5 a game, 0.5 a game, 1.1, 3, exploded to 3.3 in Miami, 0.7 twos a game. He hasn't taken. He went 10 out of 11 seasons not taking 2 shots a game from inside the 3-point line.
Oh my God! How would he do it though? How would he get a shot off? That's what I
don't know how he would get a shot off.
So
unless his foot's on the line. Maybe his foot was on the line.
Tell me PJ Tucker and Tony Allen would be remotely entertaining to watch.
Horrific. I'm not arguing with you, dude. It's absolutely terrible in every way. All right, you ready for mine?
Let's hear it.
I've got PJ Tucker in the mix because I
Okay.
hate him so much. You know how much I hate him.
Yeah.
PJ Tucker versus my new favorite PJ Tucker 2.0, Andre Jackson Jr.
Ooh, that's good. That's
Andre
good.
Jackson Jr. And I know people are going to say, go look at his college highlights. He was awesome. Okay, that's great. I've watched this guy try to dribble a basketball, shoot a basketball, and pass a basketball.
Yep.
He can do none of those three things.
None of them.
And I know people are saying he's an elite defender. Well, it remains to be seen if his brain works well enough to be an elite defender, but that would be horrible to watch.
Yes. Miserable.
And I need prime. I need third year at Texas PJ Tucker to do this, okay, to make this super bad. But for the same reason that Mobley versus Jaren Jackson Jr. would be bad, two terrible offensive players versus two, Andre Jackson Jr. probably is a very good defensive player. We've thought PJ Tucker was overrated defensively for his entire career.
Yep, I agree.
Not to the extent Marcus Smart was overrated, but overrated.
My God.
All right. My number one is R-rated. My number one is you would wish it was 2 men enter, nobody leaves. My number one is really bad. Give me your number one. There's no way. We'll let the people comment below whose matchup is worse, mine or Coach Pix's. Give me your number one worst matchup.
Okay, so I'm going to give you my honorable mentions before I give you my number one.
What is the deal with
Chuck Hayes? Well, you're only the honorable mention guy. Chuck Hayes,
Chuck Hayes out,
and Mark Matson. Okay, Mark Eaton and Sean Bradley, and Manute and George Mirasan. Those are my honorable mentions. I went with the bigs. I know you're going to have Kendrick Perkins in yours. I know you are. Okay, so I did not take that from you. Plus, I didn't know who to match him up with.
That is so cool.
I went with mine, which is Draymond Green and Dennis Rodman. I think that game would be
0-0.
Miserable to watch. Yes, miserable.
I think this. I think Rodman could give the ball to Draymond Green 100 straight times. Yep. I think he could give it to Draymond Green, steal it, give it back to him, steal it, give it back to him, wait for him to miss, rebound it, give it back to him. Yep. I think he could give it to him 100 times, and Draymond may score 4 points.
Yep. I think there's a real good chance that Draymond would swing at Rodman multiple times during the game.
He would not appreciate Rodman's desire to win. Let's put it that way. And the funny thing is, those two guys are both Hall of Famers.
Yeah, man. Michael Cooper.
I know it's hard for you to come to grips with, but he's a lock.
Yeah, Michael Cooper did it for me. Draymond definitely belongs in if Michael Cooper's in. That will be my argument.
I know, but you can't take that approach because we both know Michael Cooper has no business being in the Hall of Fame.
Hey, by the way, you know the Lakers thought that too because they didn't retire his number until after he went into the Hall of Fame.
Well, is there another? We got to think about this. Maybe this is a dumb question. Is there a number player who was never better than the fourth, arguably the fifth best player on his team that's in the Hall of Fame?
Unless it was a Celtic.
I'm trying to think of
all those titles.
I'm saying not at one point, right? Because like Ray Allen's in the Hall of Fame. At one point, he was the fourth best. Maybe
you're saying like prime.
Never better than the fourth best player on his team.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question because even if you go back to Boston in the 50s and 60s, at some point those dudes who went in the Hall of Fame were better than the fourth best player. You know,
and he was good defensively. Don't get me wrong. He weighed 35 pounds. How much does he weigh?
Maybe 170.
170. 6'7", 170.
Yeah.
You're telling me I got 35 pounds on Michael Cooper? I'm
telling you, Michael Cooper couldn't stop you from scoring in one-on-one.
Right now he could. You just throw a Twinkie on the side and I'd dive over there and eat it. Big fat ass. Michael Cooper, did you know in 1980 he finished 24th in the MVP voting? What the hell? What are they voting, 1 through 50?
Yeah, I went and looked this up because I wanted to see.
What is this?
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
Okay, Defensive Player of the Year once.
Yeah.
And career, this is stupid. 8, 3, and 4. That's Draymond.
Yeah. So don't tell me
9, 3, and 4. Sorry, 9, 3, and 4.
Like that makes Rudy Gobert
12 PER.
A first ballot Hall of Famer.
Did somebody mention Gobert?
Yeah.
Because it's my turn. And there you go. Rudy Gobert versus Kendrick Perkins.
Oh my God.
To the death. Hopefully they tie.
Oh my God.
Hall of Famer Rudy Gobert versus Hall of Shamer Kendrick Perkins from the great state of Mississippi. What do you think?
Who wins?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure, Gobert.
What transpires? Not who wins. I don't care who wins. I'm not
Yeah.
watching it, remember?
What transpires?
What transpires?
I don't think there's any way that that game ends. There's no way that
Do you
it's
think
finished.
do you think that Gobert could unlock the defensive riddle that Kendrick Perkins was? Do you think he could unlock it, the matrix? I mean, you got to get into the matrix to unhinge Kendrick Perkins and just figure out a way to get by him.
Somehow, because he was so good with Boston that when he went to Oklahoma City, he was the sole reason they didn't win.
Dude, don't even get me started. You know that back then that was my favorite team, remember?
Yeah, I know.
And all they had to do was nothing, and they
Keep
would have won the
Green.
title. All they had to do was nothing, and they would have won the title.
That's right.
And who knows after that? Like, after that, it was like everybody left, right? Harden started it, and then, I don't know.
I know. Anyhow, that would be a miserable, miserable matchup, and you couldn't go dribbling it on that. You wouldn't.
Let me ask you this question right now: is the most talented team in the NBA the Thunder?
I mean, top to bottom, yeah.
Okay, go back to that Thunder team. How much more talented was that Thunder team than this Thunder team? That's scary, right? They didn't win one
because they had two players then.
Well, you're talking about Serge Ibaka, who's significantly better than the fourth best player for the Thunder now. Who is that? Hardenstein, Cason Wallace, Lugens Dort.
Yeah, SGA is.
How about Jeff Green? Prime Jeff Green before the heart surgery is how much better than Cason Wallace?
But just start here. SGA is the best player on OKC right now. By the gap between him and
that's not close, right?
Ridiculous. Okay. There's an argument to be said that they were two better players on that OKC team than SGA.
Well, you know what it. Yeah, argument. I mean, you got 3 MVPs. I don't see 3 MVPs on this Oklahoma City team. I know you don't because you hate Jalen Williams. You think he's trash.
I don't hate him. I just don't think he's the number one.
Yeah, we don't know. We'll see. It's funny. Nobody would have thought Harden was a number one either.
For sure.
Just because we didn't get enough. You see enough. Same thing with Jay.
And Jalen.
Nobody would have thought Brunson was a number one either.
Right. And by the way, Harden wasn't a number one on a championship team.
No, he wasn't. But
and that's what I'm getting at.
There's a pretty short effing list of people that are, isn't there?
Yeah, I get it. But like Shaq and Kobe were on the same team. That's 2 right there, right? So I'm just saying, like, there's guys that could be number ones that never had the chance to be number ones.
Go back to our deal. Has there ever been a Hall of Famer who was never better than the 4th best player on his team?
No way. I don't think so. Not
was
never.
Was Draymond, or are we considering at some point that Draymond never been better than Curry? Was he ever better than Klay Thompson?
Well, I don't.
So the question is, all those in between guys, right, that came through, the Sean Livingstons and the Iguodalas and the Bogut's and the David Lees, or no, I guess he took David Lee's spot. Like, was there ever a time where, like, we think that Draymond was the 3rd best player at some point in his prime, maybe?
I think Draymond was
obviously not Durant, right. Clay, Steph, none of those years, right? But
pre-Durant, he was the 3rd best player, I would say. And that was only 1 year.
Iguodala was there.
Yeah, he was. So it's arguable that he would be 4. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Sean Livingston was there.
So Michael Cooper is 9-3-4 career.
Yep.
And has a 12.8 PER. Let's pull up Draymond for our viewing pleasure.
And
we end up hating on Draymond every episode. He just asked for it. Draymond is 8-6 and we'll round up 6. A worse shooter in every way, and a worse PER. No, wait, his career's down here. He's 8-7-6. And a slightly better PER. Slightly worse than league average PER.
Yeah. Hall of Famer. Lock.
Well, it's because all of these things.
I know. Hey, did you see they came out with another ranking, top 100, I guess. Aldridge. I think Aldridge did it. David Aldridge, I believe. And they were arguing about it on radio the other day.
There's a book out there that I told you to read. It's Hollinger, isn't it? Hollinger and Aldridge. Aldridge is somebody.
That must be the one.
Yeah, it's called like the top 100 or something like that.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
that's it. And they were arguing the other day about it.
Draymond was 100 on their list.
Yeah,
it was either 100 or 99. I can't remember.
Yeah, he was 100 from what you sent me.
That's right.
But yeah, there was some serious arguments about where guys belonged and on there, and
It's so difficult.
Yeah.
So like
Reggie Miller was the
Dave
one.
Cowens and Bill Walton. I mean, there's guys. It's like, what am I supposed to do with these people? What do I do with Tracy McGrady?
Yeah.
You know, what do I do with Tracy McGrady?
But like
you think
Reggie
Tracy
Miller
McGrady's
was ahead of like Westbrook.
Well, who was?
Reggie Miller was like ahead of Westbrook.
Well, that's stupid. That's
what I'm saying. Like,
absolutely
and they were
ridiculous.
about, you know, Reggie Miller never made
ridiculous.
Yeah.
That is absolute. That pisses me off. That literally pisses me off. And nobody loves 90s, and nobody's more get off my lawn than me. That's stupid.
It's absurd. So, I mean, the dude was triple double 4 years, and Reggie Miller averaged 17 for his career. 18.
Well, he was also the NBA's MVP, and I don't think Reggie Miller was ever a top 10 MVP candidate.
Well, he was never better than third team all league.
Oh my God.
Never. How about that?
What are we doing here?
I don't know. Anyhow.
Okay. Well, that's it, man. It's a short one, 45 minutes.
Yep.
Let's do our, we don't need to do our matchup thing, but let's go to Basketball Reference home and see if we can name these people that are on the front. You know,
right.
Okay, there's some faces. I don't know anything about girl basketball players. Obviously,
you got to share the screen with me. I can't see it.
Oh, yeah. I would win. Let me make this bigger.
That's what she said.
I didn't see. No. What did you just say?
She would have said that. Yeah, she would have.
Okay, can you see that?
Yeah, I see it.
All right, start top left to right.
Okay, Brooke Lopez.
You should get this.
Who? I can't. Can you make it a little bit larger for me?
That's what. No, I can't.
Okay. Oh, hey, I can. Is that Rodney Rogers?
It's not. No, because Rodney Rogers weighed 100 pounds more.
I was about to say.
Rodney Rogers did not own a neck. A neck was not part of Rodney Rogers' physique.
He was a monster.
That should be Harry Giles. It is.
Oh, that's
all right.
good.
Next, some girl. Next, this will be interesting to see if you get this. He's playing right now for the Thunder.
Yeah, I won't get that one. Who is that?
I think it's Isaiah Joe. Yeah, it is Isaiah Joe. You watch him; he can really shoot the ball. Dude.
Yeah, he can really shoot it. Yeah,
I got the chance to watch him when Oklahoma came and played LSU at the here at home.
Yeah, he went to Arkansas. Okay, don't know who the next guy is, but I
don't know. Dude, I don't. Yeah. I'm gonna say Isaac Bonga. Oh, that is awesome.
That's fantastic.
I'm a legend. You got to get the next one for sure.
Darrell Armstrong is.
Yeah. And then this is
Is that the Humpty Dance guy?
No, it's not Digital Underground. I know what you're thinking. It's and for some reason I'm going blank. I'm saying Rasul Butler, but it's not Rasul Butler. It's the point guard who can't shoot at all, but he puts up good numbers across the board. He's like Elfrid Payton before Elfrid Payton.
Yeah.
Butler.
God. Is he a T-Wolf?
DeLon Wright. I'm saying Butler. DeLon Wright. Yeah. That was bad. No, okay. That's it. That's it. End of the video. All right. Thunderdome. Let us know in the comments. Best matchup, worst matchup. That's it. You don't have to explain or anything. Just put two names down there. The two guys you would most want to see play one-on-one basketball against each other, and then the two guys you would run for the hills. You would least like to see play basketball against each other. I feel like you're fading into the distance. You're getting shorter. I know old people get smaller when they get old, but you're really fading back there. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Keep collecting. Stay positive in the hobby. Peace.